And we are live with my friend Colin. Yep. How we
How
doing?
you guys doing?
Good, man. You know
Good to
what's
see
funny
you.
is when you and I first met, I didn't know how to pronounce your last name, and when you told me it's so simple, it's just Yep. You reminded me of a show that I used to watch. You ever seen the show Storage Wars?
Yes, I have. I've seen a couple episodes.
So there's a guy in the show who would bid on storages, and every single time he wanted to do his bid, instead of saying like me or anything like that, he would go, "Yep."
Yep,
So that your last name reminded me of that guy in that specific show.
that's right. I do that all the time too.
I
People
can't
always,
unthink it now whenever I see your last name. So,
that's awesome.
but
I
yeah,
guess I
man.
do the same thing. Like calling yep.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, because people always pronounce it as yeep. So
Yeep. Well, yeah, I think
it
that's my
sounds
first
like it.
guess as well when I see it. So
That's
yeah,
right.
man. So where are you at right now?
I'm actually at work.
You're at
I'm a
work.
W
So
two
you're in your
job. Yeah,
W two.
finishing up soon. Yeah.
What do you do for work?
So I'm in a pharmaceutical company. I'm a quality. I work in quality in the company, and we deal
Mhm.
with a lot of cancer research drugs and drugs to the market for clinical trials, commercial trials, and drug devices as well.
Wow. So you legit figure out ways to save people's lives.
Save people's lives, help folks, and wake up every day, and that's my motivation, right? To help
No,
people and save lives
no
every day.
big deal. I just created a drug that saves people's, countless lives.
That's
So
right.
good stuff. How
But
long you
helps
been doing?
helps helps getting to work. Knowing that you're waking up and doing something good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, versus the monotonous, other types of jobs that people find themselves miserable in and things like that. But
Yeah.
okay. And how long have you been in that line of work?
Well, I've been in this industry for about close to 20 years. I think 19 years, going on 19 years now. So I've
Okay.
been in this industry the whole time since I
Yeah.
graduated. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a
Now,
long journey. I actually started off in England, and I was in England for about 13, 14 years. And I moved over from England to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, um, back in 2009.
okay. So
And
from England to New Hampshire. Where
England to
were
New
you
Hampshire.
before England?
I was born in Singapore. My parents are in Singapore. I was born there. I did my school there. I did get a scholarship to study in England, so I packed my bags and I went.
And
So,
then, so you started when you finished school in England, you started working in England, correct?
yep, straight away I started working. I started working for a big pharma company, and then I started climbing up pretty fast. And they actually asked for some help over in the United States in a branch in Portsmouth, and I said yes, let's go, and been
Across the
here ever
pond you
since.
went.
Yeah.
Across the pond you went, huh?
Yep, across the pond. Didn't even think about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice,
I met
nice.
my wife, and I got two kids now, and it's going.
Love it. Such a small world because your wife is actually from the same town that I grew up in, which is Lawrence,
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
Orange,
So
Massachusetts.
yeah. So how did it come to be that you and I have met, my friends?
Oh, so funny story. I jumped on bigger pockets for a when I started this real estate journey in October 2022,
Okay.
and I was making lots of offers. I was, down. I was absorbing all the bigger pockets videos, right? Like everybody else, trying to make it work. And then nothing came along. I couldn't find any properties. Kept getting outbidded. And then I stumbled upon Pace's Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, how do I get in? How do I start to know people? And I typed in leader,
Oh,
sub two
nice.
leader, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and guess what? Who popped up? Jonathan
This
St.
guy,
Pierre.
this guy.
That's right, that guy over here. So I contacted. There was a list of leaders in the area, so I contacted Jonathan, um, and I didn't think he would respond. And he said, "Hey, what's going on?" And and I said, "Hey, this is where I am." He's like, "Oh, I got a property I'm flipping in Manchester, right?"
Yeah, I
And it was
remember.
amazing because you offered to for me to kind of invited me over to your property. to take a look at how the flip's going, and that's kind of how we connected, right?
I love it. And it just so happened that you worked literally the next town over from where the flip in New Hampshire was going on.
Right, literally 8 minutes away.
Yeah. I remember that day specifically because, you were kind of just like, I don't exactly know what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, but I was like, I'm flipping a house right next door to your job. So if you want to come by and check it out, maybe you want to become a flipper, or maybe that kind of like opens doors to other things. And,
Yeah,
the networking alone right there, that's one of the
that's
biggest
key.
things that I've always noticed in real estate is the networking. Your network is definitely your net worth.
Absolutely, that was my door. You open up that door for me. It's like Pandora's box,
Oof,
right?
oof, love
You
it.
opened that door. I came in and I was, blown away. Right? I was, not just from the work that you've done, but the relationship we've built over time.
Mhm.
We went out for lunches. We met up and we, kind of talked about real estate a lot. And you kind of mentored me, showed me, told me how things are going, and and did that encouragement, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm still learning a lot myself, but obviously, I can tell in your position, you were kind of just like, okay, like I want to get in, but I don't know how to get in. Like, show me a way to get in, and I'm like, there's a million ways to get in. Talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Let's go grab some lunch.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, man,
That
I
was
love it.
incredible.
So, you actually ended up doing your first investment with me in one of the properties that I'm flipping, correct?
That is correct.
And that was definitely the Pandora's box because now you're just like blowing me out of the water. I think you've done more deals than me at this point. So I can't keep up with you, my man.
Oh yeah, I can't keep up with myself.
These are first world problems, my friends, for sure.
Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, we did our first. I did my first deal. I was so proud. Maybe it wasn't the most smooth flowing because I had to bounce off to my vacation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And things just kind of fell into place, right?
Mhm.
I know I did it a little bit backwards
Yeah,
for
we
those
did.
that I.
And I actually appreciate you having the trust in me to know that I was gonna be able to do everything the right way. But obviously, we were a little bit under a time crunch, so we made it happen.
Yeah, you were being flexible and I was being flexible back, right? So I think that relationship actually really panned out. The
Yeah,
trust factor played a key piece, right? Because
yeah,
it was a large deal.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's that I that most of that. So most of that was applied towards a flip that I have going on right now in Quincy, Mass. So right now we got the trash out of that property. And we're still in the planning and permitting phase, so we're trying to figure out exactly the design that we're going to go with that, and we're going to be starting demo, I hope, in the next couple of weeks, but just trying to iron out the budget. But
yeah, I'm
so
excited.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
saw some
available for you to
things.
go by anytime. So
Yeah, absolutely. I still have to get down there. So
yeah, absolutely, we'll grab some like dinner or lunch or something like that. If you want to bring the wife and kids, we can make something happen.
yeah, absolutely,
Talk to me
absolutely.
about some of these other deals that you got going on that's keeping you so busy.
Oh wow! So I
Oh
joined
wow,
Gator.
there's that many to go.
Yeah. So shortly after meeting you and doing a
Mhm,
deal, I joined Gator, the Gator tribe, on the 1st of August.
mhm.
And
So the
when I
Gator
joined,
Tribe is a community that was built by Pace Morby. So along with the Sub Two tribe, a Sub Two community, he also built a Gator community of Gator lending.
Gator Landing,
Okay.
yeah. So a lot of the community is huge. There's a lot of money in that community, right? So it's everybody. For those that aren't aware, the Gator tribe is basically a community that Pace has built, specifically catered for folks that want to lend money out for short term, for earnest money, deposits, double closings, and
Transactional lending.
transactional lending, right? So I joined Gator in August 1st, and I did 2 deals within 4 days of joining Gator. So
Boom.
on the fourth, fifth, I met somebody um, through just the community,
Mhm.
right? And she opened the door for me from the private money lending sector.
Love it.
Um, and she connected me to a bunch of other folks as well. And shout out to Kalisha Carter. She's a capital raiser and she got me, connected to some of the big, folks in the industry flipping houses over in Florida. So I did my two deals there. It was pretty big, over 100K
Love it.
deals over there, and it's been going great.
So
So
those deals, you were doing just like a transactional loan, or you actually have equity in those properties in Florida?
so those is straight up is a gap. It's a rehab loan. So
Okay.
the flippers were on the tail end of their project. They have a couple more weeks to go. Some minor stuff that they just needed to finish up. So I came in with that amount, and it's a 6 month loan, but it was they indicated they would be done in like 3 to 4.
Okay. So is that one still going on right now, or did you
It's still
already
going on
complete?
right now.
Okay.
I got some updates, and it's been really, really well. Everything's pretty much done. I think the next step is to get it appraised and
Mhm.
get it on the market. So
Awesome.
pretty excited. It's only been 60 days, so
Mhm.
it's been great. So they're right on track right there.
I love
So
it.
those are the two additional PML deals that I did, and then I started going into partnership deals.
Okay.
So
This we
um,
start getting some nice equity in the deals, right?
yeah, so in the last 73 days, I picked up about 6 properties, did 6 deals. You're like, whoa.
Yes. I want
So
to be like you
basically,
when I grow up, Colin.
and I was, when I started in October, I couldn't find a single deal for the life of me, right? 'Cause the rates were not working and
Mhm.
whatnot. But the only reason how the way that I structured how I got into the community and how I made the effort to actually do these deals is I did not know how to get into sub two. I didn't have the funds to get into sub two. I mean, I did, but I didn't want to. I didn't have proof of concept yet, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So what ended up happening was I said to myself, how do I actually get into sub two without getting into sub two,
Mhm.
right? So I made a goal for myself to reach out to at least 3 people every day. Okay, every day for the last 73 days, I reached out to 3 people every day diligently. I committed that to myself. And I didn't just reach out to any 3 people. I made it
Mhm.
intentional. I searched for masterminds. I searched for leaders. I connected to the leaders, the masterminds as mentors. And went down that route. And then I started making friends. And part of it was I was so new, nobody kind of trusted what I was doing. But I kind of had to prove myself in a way. So I started doing deals for folks with. No, I was doing deals for no fee essentially. I was helping
Okay.
people out, right? I was trying to help them out. I did fund
This
one deal.
before or after you and I met?
This is after,
After. Okay.
yeah. um, and I started doing the deals myself. So I put in some money, just some small amounts, but also partnered up with a couple of folks. So the first deal I did after you, from a property standpoint, was with a sub two mastermind. I reached out to him, and he basically said he needed 50K, 45K,
Mhm.
right? And I said, well, okay, let's do that deal. Um, from a private money lending standpoint. But then I said, hey, I just threw the question out there. Hey, can I do some partnership deals?
Mhm.
And he basically said, yeah, why not? Let's everybody eat part of the pie, right? And I said, if you don't ask, you'll never know, right? And
Exactly.
it pays off to when you do these type of deals to try to get those equity in there for long term, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
ended up being an amazing deal. There are 2 partners to it. Both are sub two masterminds. One is a mastermind. I think the other person is an OG, original sub two as well. Um, and I basically got myself a 30% equity in that deal.
Wow.
But at the same time, because I'm using my home equity line of credit to fund the deal, we worked on an agreement to also get simple interest at the same time.
Nice.
So that
So
was
you're,
a really, really
you're
good
getting, I'm
thing going.
assuming you're getting your monthly payment on that home equity line of credit covered as well.
And getting that covered as well. Yeah.
Love it. And this is a
So
property in Florida?
this is a property in Colorado.
Ooh, you are all over the country, huh?
Yeah. So we did a property in Colorado, um, and you know, I got 30% equity in that deal. We ended up doing a lease option for that.
Mhm.
We bought the property for I think 420 at an interest rate of 3.8%, I think,
Mhm.
and we ended up and our PITL was 2,300. We ended up lease optioning it. It was initially supposed to be a rep. We ended up lease optioning it for 3,100,
Okay.
and the lease option fee was 10 grand, 2 years, and at a price of 375, 475.
Wow. Okay. Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So nice little difference there for you guys. How are you
yeah,
guys dispersing it? You guys dispersing it every month, or are you guys waiting till like the end of the year to disperse the funds, the monthly rental income funds?
yeah. So the monthly rental income, we started putting it into a war chest. So we're gonna collect, 3 months, 4 months of reserves, and then we'll start spitting it out. We have our accounts on relay set up. So once the 3 4 months is up, we're gonna just start DVing it every month.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one is actively going on. How long since you guys have closed on that property?
So we closed that property, I think, June timeframe.
So June. So you guys have had that for roughly like 3-4 months.
Yeah, June the no, sorry, hold up. Sorry, not June, August,
August.
11 of
Okay.
August.
Okay. So
So
about
not
like
too long.
two-ish months. Yeah.
Yeah, August,
So
because I
far, so
joined Gator
good.
first. Yeah, so 11 days after I joined Gator, I took on a private money partner
Nice.
property.
Nice.
Right, so that was going, and then I started doing another deal. I found another person that was a seasoned Gator. They were doing a lot of deals, and I picked up a property in Arizona, Buckeye, Arizona,
Okay.
and that one was a wrap deal. So we bought the property at 4%, I think 4.1% at, I can't remember the price now. All the numbers I'm mixing up.
Too
I think
many
around four.
properties. I got too many. There's too much of a headache to think of all these properties I'm involved in.
Yeah, and funny because I didn't have the funds to go all the way. It was a $50,000 entry fee,
Mhm.
and 45 at first or 47. And what I did
Yeah,
was I
so
reached
talk
out.
a little bit about that. So talk because eventually, right, when you do so many deals, it's inevitable you're gonna run out of funds, right? So
Yeah.
this is a perfect segue where you found another deal that looked really good, but you had run out of funds, or you didn't have any funds available. So how did you overcome that?
So what I actually did was I reached out to folks in my community and said, "Hey, who wants to do their first deal?" Because I knew how hard it was. It took me so long to get my first deal, and I wanted to repay that, and I wanted somebody to get their first deal. So I said, "Hey, anybody want to go halvesies with me?"
Mhm.
Right? And I met this guy in our group, and he reached out and he's like, "Yeah, I'm down. Show me the numbers." And we worked out the numbers and we said, "Yep, let's go half." And then I did that, and then we
So
went
he
in
brought the
together.
funds, and you brought the deal.
I brought half the funds, and he brought the other half of the funds,
Okay.
and I brought the deal to him, but I found the deal through the sub two person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how did you guys end up splitting up this deal? Just you two 50-50, or did the person who brought the deal also get a chunk as well?
So the guy that brought the deal has 50%,
Okay. And then
and then
you and
me
the other lender, 25-25?
25-25.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So and that one is a rep. So we're hoping to get our initial investment back in like 90 days, 90 to 120 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So once
So
once we get our initial investment back, we'll be in there for infinite returns. So
love it. So wrap
that's
for
nice.
for anyone who may not know, is a little confusing for me, is when you have an existing mortgage and then you do a wrap your own mortgage terms on top of that, and you basically make the difference. So let's say, for example, if someone is paying $1,000 a month and I sell you the property at $2,000 a month, while I'm making that difference between the 1,000 and 2,000. So it's based as quickly as I can explain a wrap is like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how the rap works.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
then I ran out of money after that, like completely ran out of money, right?
Well,
Uh,
it's hard not to run out of money when you're doing 4 or 6 deals in 7 days, 11 days, whatever it was.
so
So,
I had to be creative. The next deal, I had to be creative.
okay.
So I ended up getting another deal, bringing another deal from my partner. This time, my mastermind partner. He had like three, 4 deals in the pipeline, and basically, I said, "Hey, let me see if I can get a partner for you." And he said, "Hey, if you bring me a capital partner, I'm going to give you part of my share. I'm going to give you my equity, and we'll split it." I'm like, that's awesome. So then I
Love
reached out to. I was actually I did the elephant challenge 3 times,
it.
and I did I signed up for Paces boot camp, and through that boot camp, there was a lot of new folks. So I reached out to the new folks and said, "Who wants the first deal?" Right, and this guy actually reached out to me, and he says, "I want to do my first deal." And I told him how I actually got my money from my HELOC, and he went out and got a HELOC after speaking to me.
Nice.
He got his
Nice.
HELOC. He's like, "What's next?" I'm like, "Get your LLC." He got his LLC, and then he's like, "I'm ready to go." I'm like, "Let's do it." Right. So from there, I connected two. I wrestled two partners. The partner that we did Buckeye, Arizona. I took
Mhm.
that partner, and I partnered him with the new guy from Paces Bootcamp,
Mhm.
and both of them together brought the deal.
Nice. So
That's
basically,
the
you
fun.
were able to get a piece of the deal because you connected them, right?
Correct.
Connected the funds, the guy who had money in his home, so he was able to take out a HELOC. You connected him to the guy with the deal, and they're like, basically, Colin, you're the freaking man. We're gonna give you a piece of this deal because I only know him because of you.
Yeah,
Love it.
absolutely.
So,
So I started bringing new folks in there, getting them their first deal, and everybody eats a piece of the pie.
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So we have, that we run a meetup like once every other month. It's
Yeah.
somewhere around the Boston area, just south of Boston. And the last one that we did, we talked a lot about the theme of the meetup being collaboration over competition. And at the end of the day, you can have 100% of a grape, but wouldn't you rather have 35% of a watermelon versus 100% of a grape? You're gonna get a lot more of the pie
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. That's the game plan.
Yeah. So, that's awesome. And you bring up something that when you're talking about how you connected those two and you were able to get yourself inserted into the deal just for connecting them. Pace has something, I don't know if you ever heard of it, called the Avatar series.
Avatar series.
Yeah,
That's
well, a
right.
lot of people, they don't know exactly which lane, what they want to do in real estate. So he has, the Avatar series, where kind of gives you an avatar of like what fits your personality type, right? Are you someone who's kind of like, somewhat antisocial, but you're good with technology? Maybe you're a very good integrator and you can help somebody with their CRM and be their behind the scenes person, right?
Right.
There's also an avatar called the connector, which is literally what you just did with this deal that you're talking about right now, where
Yeah.
you're really good at connecting people. And oftentimes people will either give you a fee or a portion of their deals just for connecting one party to the other. So,
Yeah. Exactly right.
yeah,
And so now with no money, I'm doing the same thing. So I funded almost all of my masterminds deals that way by connecting people and getting equity that way. So I've been
love it.
getting equity. I've been getting into multiple properties with no money down.
Look at
You
this.
know, and
I thought
yeah,
I didn't think it was possible. I thought Pace was a scam. What happened?
right.
Well, it is
Yeah,
possible.
it's been amazing. It's really been amazing. And then I stumbled across the connector route, not just connecting people in this deal. I started connecting people in the PML world,
Mhm.
and I actually closed my first PML connecting deal.
Mhm.
I'm not closed, but secured it 2 days ago.
Okay.
So
So that's a perfect segue because I want to talk a little bit more about some PML, which is private money lending, right?
right.
So it's a little bit different than Gator lending, which is basically transactional lending. Can private money lending, what are the benefits of somebody who might be interested in getting involved in real estate, but they don't really know how to find the deals, or they're not really a fix and flipper or anything like that, but they also maybe want to help, like, invest in someone's deal? What are the benefits of becoming a PML, a private money lender?
So being a PML, you are able to get liquid cash faster.
Mhm.
So most PMLs have some level of cash sitting either as equity or as liquid in their banks, doing nothing, right? Sitting cash is no good, right? You
You
want to
mean
keep
you mean the bank doesn't give them a great return on their money?
yeah, that $1 every year.
Yeah, exactly. 100 grand in the bank and you get like 50 cents or
50
a dollar
cents.
every year.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So as a PML, you take that money and you put it into real estate. And we all know, there's always going to be risk, right? And depending on the risk, your risk tolerance, what that deal, what a good deal looks like. You got to do your homework, you got to do your due diligence, you got to make sure that the deal is right for you, right? And
Mhm.
being part of a connector, we try to encourage, or at least myself, try to encourage folks to do that due diligence. I try to help out in whatever way I can, but there's also resources that you can utilize in Pace's group that actually do that due diligence investigation for you if you want to go down that route. So
Okay.
the important thing is do your due diligence, get your securities done. Always get your PML as a PML, always get secured by real estate, right? Whether it's in first lien, obviously first lien is in better. That's a better position. But
Mhm.
if you do go down the second lien position, then aim for cross collateralized or aim for a good security with heavy penalties if they go past.
Got it. So that
Right.
was kind of exactly, you kind of already answered some of the questions I was going to ask as well. So obviously there's risk involved in any investment, right? Whether you put it in real estate or you put it in stocks, there's always a risk of a downturn, correct? So
Correct.
some of the ways that you can help secure your money, at least it become make it a little bit more of a secured, safer bet, is you secure it by the real estate. What does it mean to be first position, second position? What does that mean?
So first position lien is when you are the number one person that has the first priority once the property sells to get your money back, right? Pace uses the term as a ladder. You put the ladder against the property and it's leaning against the property. So you can't do anything with the property, right, until you
Mhm.
remove the ladder, right? So
Okay.
as first lien, if anything happens to the property, that first position gets paid out first. And if you're
Okay.
in second lien position, then you're paid out second. Now, if all the
So
money goes,
just like a bank, when you have a mortgage with a bank, their first lien position. So when you go to sell that house, because they're first in line, they need to get paid first. Then the proceeds go to you.
exactly. Now, if you have low equity, right, and not and you have money tied up in the lien position, then if you're not doing your due diligence and let's say something happens, if all the money goes and gets paid back in the first lien position, you might not get any money left, right? In that deal,
And
if
what
you're
are we
in
talking
second,
about in the situation where worst case scenario the house gets foreclosed on, or what scenario are you talking
correct.
about?
If let's say the lender didn't the borrower didn't pay you back and something happens and they're ghosting you and you want to foreclose on the property, right? And there's a bunch of money in first lien. So if you do foreclose in first lien and majority of the money goes back to the first lien position, gets paid off first, and
Mhm.
you're in second, so you might not get your money back if you don't have enough spread between the first lien and the second lien. So
Yeah.
that's the risk that most folks need to be careful of when they're going into second lien position, and that's why we recommend going, having a cross collateralized property with at least 2x or 3x equity.
Okay. So and then but how do so basically you're saying in the events worst case scenario where you have to foreclose, first lien position gets paid first, and then the house is not worth, what your lien was. So let's say the first lien position is $100,000 and then your second position loan is 50,000. But if the house is only worth 130,000, then you might lose out on $20,000 of money.
Exactly.
Right? So what would be how can you maybe try to, it's not 100% unavoidable, but how can you figure out a way to make sure that the chances of that happening are very unlikely for you? Well, how would you go about that?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that first of all, you want to make sure that the borrower is credited, right? That he's got experience, right? So if it's a first time flipper and he doesn't know what he's going to do, right? And he might not have good contractors, might not have a good system, and you might lose that, you know, the project might go on hold, right? Or something
Yeah.
happens and it gets delayed and he runs out of money, and now he can't finish the work, right? So the first thing is to make sure the experience is there, right? Make sure
Okay.
that you do your due diligence, and make sure that ARV, after repair value, is appropriate for the property. So you got to do some level of underwriting and comping to make sure that the comps matches the ARV before you go into a deal, especially with a deal that has a flip, right?
Okay.
So you want to make sure you do that due diligence, the numbers work out, and that you'll be able to get your money back when they sell. Because if the ARV is 300, right, and your comps says is you're 250, right, and the borrower is expecting 300, and he's going to pay you that 50K, right, between 250 and 300, and it comes in at 250, you might not get your money, because if they sell it for less, then you're not going to get your money, because they still have to pay off their first lien position.
Got it. So you want to make sure that the ARV, the after repair value, especially in a fix and flip situation, is going to be much higher than what the first and second lien position are. So let's say, for example, and I'm just using easy numbers, but let's say first lien position is $100,000, and then you're in second position at $200,000. So you would want to make sure that when the house is done being fixed up, it's at least worth what, 350, 400,000?
400,000. Yeah.
Okay. So roughly, maybe anywhere from 50 to 60-ish% of the ARV is total
Correct.
debt on the property. Does that sound
Right.
about right?
Sound about right.
Yeah. So basically that, in your opinion, that would be a way to mitigate the risk.
Yep. Mitigate the risk and or go first position.
First position,
Right.
yeah. It's kind of hard in New England to be in first position if you're only giving 50,000, but yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
But
just make sure that you have enough penalties as well, so that you keep the borrower on their toes, really making sure that they keep to the timelines as well, right?
yeah.
In that
I mean,
aspect.
honestly, from some of the horror stories that I've heard, honestly, most of it is just really lack of communication.
Yeah.
Most people in my experience that I've networked with, they're pretty understanding, right? Sometimes rehabs go over budget, they go over timeline. So maybe you just need to have a conversation upfront about what happens if these types of things happen, and then if it is happening, you as at least I'm gonna speak for myself here. Me as the borrower, like I communicate that with people and say like, hey, there is an extension clause in I'm gonna need to take that extension clause because of XYZ. Here's where we're at. And typically what I do with them is I update them every month on the progress of the project, sending them pictures and videos. People like to see that, okay, they invested in a hard physical object, right? Which in this case is real estate. So they feel comfortable knowing that. But when you show them the progress that's happening, it just, I know me as an investor, I would like to do that. So I try to provide that for my private money lenders as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to put yourself in the lender's position, right? I'm always going to be afraid that I'm not going to get my money back, right? So you want to make sure that the communication is key. Don't ghost anybody. Don't not communicate, right? Because that's just bad business.
Ghosting is very frowned upon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So okay. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, especially as a fix and flipper, we're all, as the more and more once I start getting, you've already surpassed me. So once I start getting on your level of the deal flow, I'm going to run out of money very quickly because I can only have so much capital to do the fix and flips. So obviously that, building relationships with those types of opportunities are super key. What are some other benefits of someone being a private money lender as far as like the returns that they can get versus compared to, obviously we already know the returns in the bank account are minimal, if anything. And also, like, what about some people who maybe they're not happy with the returns that they're getting on their IRAs or their index funds and things like that?
Yeah. So like you put your money in a CD, right? Most CD banks right now, 5.25% or something.
Real quick, what's a CD?
It's like a fixed deposit, right? What's it called? Certified.
So certificate of deposit.
Yeah, certificate of deposit, right? And you
this
basically put your money in there. It gets tied down for a year or 2 years or whatever term that you agree on, and you get 5.25 per year interest, right? Percent. 5.25% per annum, right? In a private money lending situation, you can negotiate whatever terms you want from 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months, right? And you can have the terms annualized at an annualized percentage, or you can have it done as flat percentage flat, simple interest,
Mhm.
right? So you can get those 60, 90, 20-day deals at 10%, double what the bank does, right? 10%, 12%, 15%,
Mhm.
18%, 20% flat. I've seen things go up to 35%, right?
Wow.
Yeah, for like 60 days. So the shorter the time frame, the more money they need, the higher the interest rate goes up,
Mhm.
right? And people are
Yeah.
willing to pay that when they're in a situation where they need the money quick because they're running out of funds and they need to finish the deal, right? And they're willing
Yeah.
to give some of their profits to actually, get the deal done.
Absolutely.
So as
So
a
you can
lender,
easily put yourself. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
You can easily put yourself in a position where you are earning at least double the returns that a bank would give you on a normal CD.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I did, right? All the money that I've been using to date is other people's money. When I talk about lending my 100K deal, my 130K deal, right, my 50K deal, all of that is using my HELOC. And for those that are not, aware of what HELOC is, a home equity line of credit.
Okay.
Basically, the bank is using your property, your private property, as leverage, and they're giving you the money because your equity is not cash, right? Your
Mhm.
equity is tied up in the house, right? But they're liquefying your equity, giving you cash, and they only start paying interest as you use it.
Okay. And
And
how
taking
much?
that,
So typically, how much interest is the bank charging you to take out that money? Because obviously, the bank's not going to do it for free.
right? So my HELOC rate right now is 7. I started off at 2%, but my
Okay.
HELOC right now it's variable. So HELOC rates are variable. They have some HELOC rates that are fixed, but my HELOC rate is currently at 7.5%. So at 7.5%, I tend to want to do deals, and this is 7.5 annual, right? So if I do a 15% flat, for example, that's triple what the annual rate is, right?
Mhm.
So I want to do obviously at least double APR, if not double flat, in
Okay.
that instance. So then you're actually able to pay off your holding cost with the simple interest that you're getting back.
So again, to use easy numbers, right? Let's say, for example, you're getting the bank is charging you 7.5% to take out your money. So let's say of 100, and it's annual. So what does that mean? So let's say, for example, you borrow $100,000 HELOC from your bank,
Yeah,
7.5% annual. So that means if you have that $100,000 for an entire year, you will have paid 7.5% of 100 grand, which is $7,500, right?
correct. Yeah,
So they're
a
charging
year, $7,500 a year,
Say again.
$7,500 in 12 months. So you got to divide by 12 to get the monthly
Yeah, you pay every month, but by the end of the year, you will have paid 7,500.
7,500
Correct.
bucks. Yep.
So what you're doing is, okay, the bank is charging me 7.5%, but I'm gonna go and lend it out for 15%. So you're making that spread. So you're making another 7.5 right there.
Yep, 7.5 if I'm lending for a year at 15% APR. If
Mhm.
I'm lending for 6 months at 15% flat, and you know it's much higher than that. That's like 24% APR.
Correct. Yeah. So you're basically doing the same thing that the bank does with our money that we deposit into our bank accounts. You're doing the exact same thing, and then you found real estate as a tool to be able to get those types of returns.
Yep.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Using other people's money.
There we
Right.
go.
OPM.
That's what Look at. I feel like from when I first met you to now, I feel like I'm talking to two different people, man. I love it.
Yeah,
So
it's been a long journey, and it's I mean a short journey but a long journey, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
It's been so busy for me. I got my W-2 job, and then I got my two kids at home, and
Mhm.
I'm educating myself on my drive here to work, on my drive home, and I'm making calls in between my breaks, on my way home at night. Um,
Now I'm brand new. What if I don't know how? What if I can't tell if a deal is a good deal or not? What if I don't know how to underwrite deals? What would I do?
So if you're
So
new
let's
and you
say
don't know
I
how to
have
underwrite
money.
deals,
I have, I don't know, anywhere from 20 to 100 grand, and I want to
yeah.
lend it out on active real estate investments, but I can't tell a good deal from a bad one. What do I do?
So what you could do is reach out to any of our sub two community members, yourself, myself, and if we can't help you, we can get people that can. The community is so huge. There are people that are in the community just to help folks underwrite deals, and they're here to help, right? All my deals, I send it through multiple people as well to tell me, hey, it's a bad deal, but I might do it. It's not a bad deal from a safety standpoint, but maybe it's a bad deal because I don't like the numbers because I want to aim for higher numbers, right? And depending on my risk tolerance. So I still do those deals, but you can still get the underwriting done, and many people will help. I will help, right? I've
Love
helped a couple of folks do a couple of underwriting deals as well, and if I'm not too sure, we'll ask the community to help.
Love it. Yeah. So, there's definitely many resources that they can reach out to. One thing you'll notice about, the sub two community, Gator community, I would say it's definitely a good community where people are definitely looking to a good culture of, giving value. You're always looking to give value. So at least, in this area, you should not find any trouble finding someone who can help you underwrite your deals and tell you good ones from bad ones.
Right. There's also the Free Elephant Challenge that people can go to. There are multiple leaders in those groups, and those leaders help to also underwrite those deals, to tell you whether it's a good deal or not. So they're there to
Perfect.
help anybody
Perfect.
and it doesn't cost anything. It's free.
Yeah. Look at this. So much value. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's amazing.
What's next in line for you, my friends?
So next in line, I got a couple more deals that I'm working on right now. One more lease option, one more rep, and two more connecting deals. And I got no money in those, so I gotta find people to connect. Still build my relationships within the Gator tribe, within the Sub Two tribe, the community, and outside my network. So, trying to help people outside my network as well. I actually I was doing my haircut the other day, and I was telling my barber how I was doing all these deals, and he actually sent people over to me that had a lot of cash sitting around, and they wanted to put their money to use.
I
So I'm
love it.
actually having conversations with those folks, right? So the
Yeah,
community.
I think you and I need to set up a weekly call from now on, moving forward. So all these relationships you're making with people with just money sitting around, I need to start reaching out to you more often, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, everybody has some type of goal they want to meet, and if we can help those folks achieve those goals and make money at the same time, then why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all in it to win it, and we all can win. There's definitely, enough food for us to eat. So I definitely agree with you.
Absolutely.
So you got a couple more deals in the pipeline, right?
Yep.
You was it month-ish ago, month and a half ago, you came back from Singapore visiting family?
Yeah, I did.
You got any trips lined up or what?
My kids want to go to Disneyland again, and we
Okay.
just went to Disney World not too long ago, and they want to
Mhm.
go again. So I haven't had any plans to do anything next year yet,
Okay.
but who knows, right?
Yeah. At the very least, you gotta definitely come take a trip down, to Quincy. Come check out the
Yes.
property, and maybe let's grab some dinner or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I
All
can't
right, man.
wait.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it. It's great to see you, man. I am super, super happy to see the progress and the continued growth that you have going on in this journey, man. And I want you to keep it up, and let's uh let's keep doing big things together.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm forever grateful to you for opening up my Pandora's box, right? And getting me into this. So, thank you so much for everything that you've done.
Absolutely. And one more time, if someone wants to get in contact with you, where could they do that?
They can Facebook message me, Colin Yup. They can also hit me up on Instagram, DM me on Instagram at Colin Yup. I think all the Colin Yup in small letters actually. You
Okay,
might want to change. So it's at Colin Yup, no space, all small letters.
got it. All
Um,
righty, perfect.
yeah, I'm new to Instagram, so I don't have many posts, but I'm starting to get more
At the very
active.
least, they can DM you, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Love it, love it. All right, man. Well, hopefully this. I'm sure this will not be the last time that you and I talk in this type of format. Eventually the goal is for me to maybe even have like a little mini studio set up so I can, have a legit office setting. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to doing some more business together and keep crushing it, man.
Yeah,
Super
me as
proud.
well.
Obviously,
You as well.
yeah,
Let's
I'm
do more
trying.
deals. Let's make money together.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you.